I hope this podcast can inspire you to always dream big and make it your reality. I am your host, Jess Williamson, a serial entrepreneur and business coach. And today I wanted to share with you a personal story about how I had to learn to slow down, and now that I get to run a business that I really, really love. So let's get into it. Here's something I want to talk about is being busy and this hustle culture. I've been there. And earlier in the year, about a year ago, I actually went to a retreat. And at this retreat, things didn't run to schedule. It was very flowy and, relaxing. And there was a lot of downtime and there was absolutely no phone service or Wi-Fi. And what I realized from that retreat, what something really struck a chord with me was I didn't know how to not be productive. I thought I knew how to relax, but I was still doing things, right? So my version of relaxing was like putting something on TV or actively doing something. And what that retreat taught me is that I don't actually know how to stop. I didn't know how to slow down. And this is something that I've probably done my whole life, so it was a bit of a shock to the system. And the moment that I realized that, I was at the retreat. Everyone was kind of doing their own thing on a break. And like I said, there was no phone service or Wi-Fi at all, which was really nice. But it meant that I couldn't get on my phone and be somewhat productive on Instagram. I couldn't get on my phone and check my emails, which is what I would normally do if I had a break, right? So what I thought I would do, I was like, maybe I'll read my book. And I started reading that for like a couple of minutes. I was like, no, I'm going to try and go for a walk. And then I tried to go for a walk. And this sounds ridiculous that I tried to go for a walk. You're like, Jess, just walk. Sounds obvious. But I tried to go for a walk and I did a bit of a lap around the grounds. And then my friend Beth, who was there doing the amazing food at the retreat, she said to me, Jess, are you okay? You look really concerned about something. And I was in that moment that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just so uncomfortable doing nothing. I was so uncomfortable in that moment that she thought I was severely having an issue with something or something had happened or rattled me. I thought I was going for a walk, but from the outside, it looked like I was really uneasy about it. And so it was in that moment about a year ago that I realized, holy shit, I don't know how to stop. At the time, I was running my swimwear brand, I was running my coaching, my membership, my podcast. I was doing all of these things and I didn't know how to stop. Because I had trained my body and I had trained my mind to never stop. And so that is where I realized I need to inject more of this. So that retreat was a huge reset for me. In just 3 days of eating amazing food, doing an amazing routine, and actually giving myself time to stop, I usually suffer from quite severe acne. And for the past 5-6 years since running my business, it's the worst it's been in my life. It's worse than when I was in puberty. And in 3 days, at the end of that retreat, I'll probably share a photo up on my Instagram or something on my stories about it. But literally, my skin cleared up. And when I got back, my partner and my family and people were saying to me, Jess, what have you done to your skin? It looks amazing. And I have never had a comment like that in my entire life. And so for me, what that made me realize is, and you can go and listen to my other podcast episode with Sarah, all about the signs of burnout and stress, I thought I was relaxing. When I would go to the beach, when I would watch TV, when I would, do some reading at the evening, when I was at home, I thought I was relaxing. I didn't feel overly stressed. But with that reset, what it taught me was that I can't keep living like this. My body is in overdrive and I don't even realize it. And so having this reset and realizing, hey, I actually can stop and slow down, that is what I realized. I can actually build my business around this. I can run a business. And so I was already in the process of selling my swimwear brand. I had, already put it up for sale and I was already going through that process. But what I realized was I needed to look inwards. And I realized that, look, this swimwear brand is not lighting me up anymore. It's not creating that fuel and fire and passion that I had for it once upon a time. And it's taking up time in my day. It was only taking me about 2 hours a day because I'd built it up and scaled it in a way that it can almost run itself, which was great for selling a business. But it was still 2 hours of my day and a whole bunch of mental capacity just holding space for that, right? So I sold my swimwear brand because I had lost the passion for it. And then what I started to do was I started to look at my coaching business. I started to look at all the things I was doing and figure out, how can I build a life around my business? Or how can I build a business around my life? Because before I had prioritized business. I had always prioritized business. I got better. I've been getting better year over year. But let's rewind 2-3 years ago, right? I would wake up. I would have so much anxiety or just drive, maybe we could call it at the time. But I had so much anticipation that I would get straight on my phone. I would do a bit of work on my phone. Then I would see an email that would trigger something in me. I would have to jump straight on the computer and I would start to tackle the day. I was in response mode all of the time. And that's because, firstly, I was probably running a business that wasn't truly aligned with really where I wanted to go in life. And that's something that I really work with my clients on before I take them anywhere. I make sure, is this business and is this business model serving your life? If it's not, we need to tweak it and we need to create something that does. But what I would do was I would get up, I would get on the computer at like 7 a.m., whatever time I woke up, and I would work. And I would just be working that the hours of the day would dwindle and just pass by like nothing even happened. And I'd be like, oh, it's lunchtime, better get a break, better eat something today. And then I think, oh, just one more thing. Before I knew it, it was 3 p.m. It was 2 or 3 p.m. and I hadn't eaten breakfast. I hadn't showered. I hadn't washed my face. I hadn't done anything other than business. Some of you may be thinking, holy shit, that's me. Some of you may be thinking, shit, Jess, that's crazy. But I can guarantee there are some elements of that in your life right now. If you have things that you're, going to bed at the end of the day and you're feeling like, oh my God, there's not enough hours in the day for me to get done what I need to and have some time to work on me and have some time for this. There is more than enough time for all of those things. So start prioritizing you. Today is International Podcast Day. I am so excited to celebrate this with you. And what I thought I would do is I'm going to give you a gift. I'm going to give you something to celebrate and say a huge damn thank you for tuning in, for supporting me, for supporting Couch Chats podcast. So have you ever wondered how people get featured on podcasts, how the guests get to come on my podcast, how I've been featured on so many podcasts all around the world? You can pitch yourself. And so what I'm going to do is to give you and to say thank you, I'm going to give you my podcast pitch template. So you can use this to pitch yourself to get featured on other podcasts all over the world so that you can reach more people, share your story, share your business, and build your business as well. That's the whole point of getting awareness and getting press. So if you want a copy of my podcast pitch template, I've literally made this just for you, then what I'd love to ask you is a huge, huge favor to please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Leave a review, set a rating, and then screenshot your review. Send it over to me on Instagram at jess.williamson8. Send me a screenshot as a DM, and I will send you the link to get your hands on my podcast pitch template. If you don't have any Apple devices, then you can just share the podcast to your Instagram stories, tag me, share what you love about it, and I'll be happy to send you that as well. But I just wanted to do something to celebrate and to say thank you for supporting me on International Podcast Day. So thanks so much. I can't wait to see all of your reviews coming through, and I can't wait to send you your own podcast pitch template. Now let's get back to the episode. We need to live our lives now. When I was driving home from the beach the other day, this quote just popped into my head. I'm pretty sure I made it up, but I said to myself, your to-do list will never be done, but one day your life will be. And so why do we work so hard? Even though we love our businesses, we start a business because we love what we do. But your to-do list is never going to be done. And that is something that I realized early on. So what I do with my clients, what I'm actually doing with them at the upcoming Ignite the Dream retreat in Yelling Up, if you're in Western Australia, hit me up, send me a DM, or check the link in the show notes, because this retreat is going to be epic. This is going to be that reset that you need. We're going to deep dive into what is your dream life, because that needs to come first. And then guess what? We can build a business that supports that. But so often we try build this business, and then hope that we one day get to a dream life, but we haven't actually decided what that looks like. I've now built a business. I have every Friday off. If I want to have a sleep in, I'm recording this on a Friday, and this morning I had a sleep in. I got up, I went to a late class of Pilates. I'm just sitting in my car now that I'm home, and I'm going to use the day to learn because that lights me up. But Fridays are my days that I've been able to carve out to completely spend to myself. Every other day of the week, Monday to Thursday, sometimes I go to Pilates and I don't start work till 11 a.m. Sometimes I finish work at 1 p.m. and I go to the beach for the afternoon, when it's nice weather, at least. But I'm doing this whilst doing shit that lights me up. I have never been more fulfilled or felt like I'm more in my life's purpose than I am now. I've built out systems and processes and a business model that can allow me to do this. Even with my swimwear brand, because people think, oh, it's not possible for a product-based business. Even with my swimwear brand, I built that up that I was only spending 2 hours a day on that business. I built it, scaled it, and then systemized it. So you can do that too. But you first need to decide, what is it that you really want? What is it that you want? What is it that you want out of life? Because like I said, your to-do list will never be done. One thing that I would recommend you look out for, and another thing that I told you the example at the retreat that I didn't know how to stay still, but I even catch myself falling back into that every now and then, because what happens is you look at the clock and you're like, oh, it's only 10 a.m. or it's only 12 p.m. But I've already done all my tasks for today. I've already done the urgent things that I really had to do. And then you scroll Instagram because you feel like you have to be productive, or you try and find something else to do, but you're really just fiddling around and not being that proactive or not being that productive. How often do you pick up your phone throughout the day because you should be resting, but you've picked up your phone? If you haven't listened to my episode on time versus energy management, this is exactly what I mean about this. Is you might be taking a break. You might go sit outside and have your lunch, but you've got your phone there. You might be watching some Netflix, but you've got your phone there. That is your phone just sitting there. Whether you're looking at it or not, your phone is taking up, let's say, 20% of your energy. Maybe 50% of your energy, because it's there and you probably pick it up every few minutes, right? While you're trying to have this break. That is when you don't know how to be still and relax. And I find myself falling back into this sometimes. And so when I do that, what I ask myself is, what do I need in this moment? What do I need? Do I need a bit more fun? Because what we're doing is we're not self-sabotaging. We're using that to fill a void because we don't know how to be still. So what do I need in this moment? Do I really need rest? If I really need rest, then put the phone away, have a nap, or do some meditation, or do something that really refuels you. If you need some fun, then put your phone away and go have some fun, catch up with friends, whatever it is. But if you don't know how to be still, you've trained your brain to always be on, always be productive. And this is a problem because I was there and I didn't even realize, but it showed up in ways through my skin. I was always tired. I wasn't obviously eating enough or eating properly. So all of that played a part, but having this routine was key. So at my Ignite the Dream retreat, I am seriously so bloody excited. I'm pretty bummed that those of you interstate cannot come because I know so many of you wanted to come. But don't worry, next year I will hopefully have another one and hopefully everything will be open so that you can come along. But if you are in Western Australia, this retreat is going to be seriously epic. We're going to go through what is your dream life, designing that, figuring out what you truly value, because sometimes you don't even know. You don't even know what lights you up or what you really value and at your core. Because sometimes what you consciously think might just be ideas that other people have given you, or that you've gotten from social media, or that you've absorbed from a coach or a mentor or someone else that you look up to. We're going to dig deep into the subconscious mind, figure out what you truly value. Then we're going to map out your dream life. We're going to map out your dream business. And then I'm going to help you strategically put that in place, because I believe that we need a combination of mindset and simple strategies, as well as knowing what direction we're going in to really make this all happen. Like I said, I've never felt more fulfilled in my life. I've never had more time for fun, learning, adventure, all the things that I value. And I've never earned more money in my life to allow me to do all of this as well. So you can too. I'm just a young female girl with no real reason why I should have this success and this fulfillment right now, right? But I figured it out. I want to help you figure it out as well. We're going to bust through those limiting beliefs. We're going to work on the mindset. We're going to roadmap your ideal life and your dream business. But we're not just going to manifest it. We're not just going to dream it up. No point in that at all, unless we're taking action. So I'm going to help you work on an exact action plan to growing your business in a way that is going to create this reality for you. So amongst that, we're going to dive deep. We've also got Caitlin Ruth, photographer, coming, and she's going to do headshots for everyone so you get some awesome photos for your website, for your Instagram, for your social media. I've got my friend Eloise Smith, Instagram expert, coming to do a whole session on Instagram and Reels. And guess what? We're going to have a ton of fun. We're going to go down the beach. We've got an amazing luxury house with a pool, and we're going to do some yoga on the grass. We're going to go to a winery for a long lunch and some drinks. It's going to be such a jam-packed 3 days, but it's going to be so soul-nourishing. We've got Beth, who was on the retreat from my story. Beth is coming to nourish everyone with the most delicious foods that really fuel you for the right activities at the right times and really give you that boost of nourishment and energy that you need. This retreat is the ultimate retreat. This is my dream retreat, and it's so exciting that I've been able to design it. So if you are interested in coming along, make sure you send me a DM if you're not sure if it's for you. Otherwise, hit that link down in the show notes or head over to my website, jessicawilliamson.com.au, and you'll find some more info there. But make sure you jump on, because these spots are going to fill up fast, and I hope to see you there. It's going to be in November, over 3 days on a weekend, so I'm bloody excited. I hope to see you there. But if you can't come, then hopefully you can come next time. But either way, hopefully you've taken away something from this podcast episode. It has really taught me a lot and made me realize something, but sometimes we need that pattern interruption. We need that thing to break our habits. So maybe if you can just start becoming more aware of what's actually going on for you, you might be able to start making small improvements. But guess what? It's a long, ongoing journey. And like I said, I sometimes feel myself slipping back into it, but I now can recognize that and catch it before I do. I hope you have an amazing week. Hope to see you at the retreat. Otherwise, come and connect with me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Please send me a DM. Let me know what you think of this podcast episode. Otherwise, this is just me sitting in my car. I had a thought. I had to jump on. I literally am just talking, no notes or anything. So I'm here showing up for you guys because I knew that this message was important. But please, otherwise, I'm just sitting in my car looking like a crazy woman talking to myself. So please come and let me know. Send me a message, send me a DM on Instagram, and let's chat, because I really want to hear what you are taking away. What are your goals? And even if you're feeling a bit stuck, just be like, hey, Jess, I'm feeling stuck with this. Thanks so much for your podcast, or, let me know, because it really does mean a lot. But thank you so much for listening. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave a review if you have enjoyed this podcast or taken anything away. It honestly means the world. Thank you so much, and speak to you next time.